Welcome one and all, my name is Tawess and today we are going to do something different. Also, don't mind the red on my finger, it is paint, nothing worse than that. This is a Scyk Fighter from the X-Wing miniature game. And I picked this one up on a whim while attending a local gaming convention, which is also why this video is late. Because it's been basically sitting on a chair and selling merch all day. We're going to paint it with speed paints. I got a nice thick box of speed paints when I was at the convention. And no, there's no footage from there because as I said, I was working. And I don't feel it's polite to film people when I'm working. If my job is not to be there to film people, my job was not to be there to film people. My job was to sell merchandise. Anyway, so this little thing is one of my secret loves because this thing was the starter ship for the Scum faction in Star Wars Galaxies. You got the little thing. It is a worthless ship. It's useless. It's worthless than a TIE fighter. But it has a certain, how shall I put this, nostalgic value. So yeah, we're using speed paints. And to be more specific, we are using the Runic Grey, the Celat Yellow, and the Fire Giant Orange. We're starting off with the Celat Yellow. And, yeah, not much to say about that, actually. I mean, the idea is just to see how long it would take, how well it would cover, and what we would do with it. Because I never used speed paint before. You see, I'm not big enough to have them send free samples to me. And I was thinking about picking up the starter kit, but at the same time it had a lot of overlap with contrast paints I already had. I was like, I'll wait. I was like, it's still fairly similar. But as I was curious, how would this work? Is it good? And more specifically, is it good for flat surfaces? Because trust me when I say it, contrast paints aren't always that great over flat surfaces. They love textures. They're shite. Literal shite over flat surfaces. This actually does a decent job. It's not too much marbling. There's not a lot of weirdness going on with it. I'm going to mess it up later because, well, I'm me, but for intents and purposes, I like it so far. Now, this thing came together with a larger ship called the Scyk Cargo. My voice died there. Hello, it's me. Sorry, as I've been on convention all day. So yeah, it came with a bigger Scyk transport ship that you sort of use in the game too. I have an older video where I paint some Jedi starfighters, but this neither here nor there. As I say, this is mostly a speed paint. My hair. Mostly a speed paint test more than it is a model painting test. And so far, I like it. Might not be my end-all be-all thing, but I kind of like it for like a first layer if nothing else. And of course, I know there's been issues with this. It loves to reactivate. It does not like you poking it once it's gone down. If you put it on, you have to be very careful, because if you wait too long, it starts drying. It does the same thing the contrast paint does, and it peels. It gets a skin and it peels, and that's not nice. But yeah, also I know it doesn't look like it, but this is actually yellow. You're gonna see I'm gonna try to do a picture later on, but my white balance were off, and this is actually not orange. It is a yellow. You're gonna see when I put the orange on later that it actually makes a sort of sense. Now, why am I interested in how speed paint does on flat surfaces? Well, I'll let them tell you this. Because battle mechs are mostly flat surfaces. Shocking. I know. The king crab is pretty much just flat surfaces. And I've had issues with it before. As I said, contrast paint does not like flat surfaces at all. This likes them a lot more. It is not all that particular. But it's a nice tinting. It tints really well. And it goes on very smooth, and I like it. You just need a bit of patience with it. Because as I say, you have to commit. Because once you're committed, you're committed. You cannot redo anything with these. If you mess up, just spray the whole thing down again and start over. Fortunately, it's also very thin, so it doesn't take away much detail while doing this. And the idea here is, of course, we're going to be using this in combination with regular paints for our mechs going forward. And we have good news and bad news. I'm actually not much bad news, but we have good news. I have picked up some really nice resin, so we will be cranking up the old resin printer again soon and start punching out terrain and mechs, and that is nice. I like that. Now, this grey here is a light bluish grey. As you can see, it actually is fairly blue, even regularly. And, I mean, why I picked it out here is because blues and yellows goes very nice together, and I think that works. As you can see, it has really nice coverage. I'm not using much paint here, just a few drops, and it has a really nice coverage. You just load the brush up and apply it. One coat, it's done. Mostly, at least. You might need to push the paint around a bit. But yeah, so we're going to be printing some nice terrain bits for our terrain project. So that's going to pick up. We're going to print some mechs, because that's also fun. And I'm going to state right now, I'm not sure I want to buy all that more new mechs, because there's Kickstarter coming, and I kind of want to get in on that instead. But we'll see. Time will tell. Now here comes orange. I'm curious. It looks very red. I know, and it's not that red in reality. It's more like the old Slayer orange in color. Still very nice. But yeah, the coverage on all of these are great. So you don't need to mess around with it too much. I went a bit cheap on the paint on the brush, so I had to pick up some more. But once it goes nicely loaded up, it goes on so smooth. So smooth. Very easy. So yeah. I mean, I know I'm the last one to get on the old speed paint train. But as I said, I did not get any product samples, so I had to buy this with my own money, and that was kind of, well, had to spend money on other things like food and such as. I mean, that is what it is. So yeah, so I got the big collector's edition set, which has all the speed paints for now in it. It's nice. It's a bit overkill, but yeah, it's done at least. That's the thing. And but I don't have much of plan on painting that much more X-Wing miniatures. But if you want me to, if you want to see me actually painting these things, if you want to have like character painting and such, like, I don't know, if you want me to paint more of these, tell me, because I'm always open for new ideas. If you want to stick to mechs and stuff, that's also very valid, and I can do both. So yeah, we basically just cut there because just finish painting, waiting for it to dry, because the drying times are a bit longer than regular paint. But as you can see, there's a nice contrast between the yellow and the orange, and the bluish grey has a nice bounce to it. So in this case, just add a bit of silver to the canopy, because, well, I know I could add a lot more details to the canopy, but I kind of like this plain silver for now. We're going to, perhaps at some point when it's fully cured, like give it a day or something like that, we're going to come back to it and see if we can add some more details without reactivating the paint, or if we have to give it a coat of varnish before we do that. It's part of the experiment. We're going to update you on that one later. But yeah, that I would say is close to it. If you like what I do here, give me a like, give me a subscribe, leave a comment on what you want to see next, and until next time, stay safe, be kind, and do play fair. Now, let's roll into some beauty shots. Oh, well, actually not beauty, but you know. You'll see.